there, I'm Miss Laura with the Wichita Falls Arts Council, and today we are going to create some uniquely patterned butterflies using cut paper and glue. And we're going to use a concept called symmetry when we make our butterflies. And what I mean by symmetry is that if something has symmetry like this butterfly does, or is symmetrical like this butterfly is, it means that we can divide it in half, right down its center, and find that the right side and the left side, they're a mirror image of each other. And we can create really complex and interesting symmetrical patterns, again, mirrored down the middle, by folding paper in half and then cutting out those two halves at the same time to reveal a symmetrical image. So we're going to use 3 colors today, and I'm going to do a quick overview of the project. We're going to use 3 colors to make one butterfly. So these are all different colors here. I have a yellow, a black, and a pink. So I'm going to start with one piece, this yellow, and then I'll use my scissors to cut out a shape, cutting both sides at the same time. And then when I open it up after cutting, here it is cut. If I open it up, I have a symmetrical shape. It's random. I'm not trying to make it look like anything specific. And then once I have that shape cut out, I'm going to glue it into my second sheet of paper, lining up the center so they fold nicely together. And I'm going to glue it with a glue stick. Then I'll close these pieces that are glued up together. And then take my scissors and cut in the same way I did that first sheet, the yellow sheet, until I get a new shape. And when I open this up, it has that first shape or parts of it inside of it. And it is, again, still symmetrical because I cut the paper while it was still folded. I'm going to take this second composite shape and glue it into my third and final sheet of paper. Glue, glue, glue. And then I'll close up the whole thing. And this time, instead of cutting out a random shape like I did the first 2 papers, I am going to take a pencil or a pen and draw half of a butterfly in the same way that I would draw half of a heart and then cut out both sides to make a full heart. So I'm making sure that I'm drawing on the folded edge and not the open side. And then that'll give me something like this once it's cut out. Now I have a butterfly with a complex but still symmetrical pattern, mirror image of each other. So I'm going to start with my 3 sheets or 3 half sheets of colored paper. I have a green, a pink, and a black. Choose any colors you want as long as they're all different. I have a full sheet of construction paper for the very end, which I'll glue my butterfly to and draw a body. I'm using a pair of scissors today. I have a marker for the very end, a glue stick, and also a pencil. So starting with my 3 smaller half sheets, I'm going to take all 3 papers and fold them in half hamburger style. Okay, once all 3 papers are folded, I'm going to choose a color to start with. You can choose any that you want. I'm just going to start with this black sheet of paper because it's right on top. And I'm going to start cutting into it with my scissors. I do want to follow a rule, though, as I'm cutting and trying to make an interesting shape. I don't want to entirely cut off this edge. Very cool. So I do want to follow a rule when I am cutting this paper. I'm cutting both sides at the same time, And I can cut on this side or from this side where my crease is. It's holding my two sides together, but I don't want to completely cut it off. I want to leave some of it there so my two pieces are still connected in some way. So I like to usually start by cutting around all of the open edges first. I'll take my scissors and just start randomly cutting. If you want to draw your shape before cutting it out with a pencil, you can do that too. Then maybe cut some more into it, taking a triangle out here, and then every once in a while opening up my shape and seeing what it looks like and seeing where I might want to cut more. So I'm going to cut a little bit from this folded edge side. Open it up. And so even though I've cut off a lot of this fold line here in the middle, that's perfectly okay because I still have some of it left. I still have enough of that line there so that my two sides are still connected. A little bit more. Okay, so once I've looked at my shape and I feel like I've cut enough of it off, it's a pretty interesting shape. There's a lot going on. I'm going to take this shape and then glue it into my second piece of paper. Okay, just a little bit more off. Using a glue stick. I like to glue half at a time. I think it makes it a little more manageable. So I take my glue stick and then fold my shape in half and apply glue to the side that's folded down. It's really important that we glue our entire shape down. We don't want to miss any little corners or little appendages that stick out. And I'm lining up the center of my cut shape with my folded paper. And they need to be able to easily fold together. And I'll glue my second half. Then even after I'm done gluing the second half, I am going to go around the edges and really make sure that the entire thing is glued down. I don't want to be able to pick up a corner and lift it off of my second paper. So I'm going to go around, check my corners. This part still lifts up a little bit, so I'm going to carefully peel it up, apply a little more glue, and then press it down. And I'll go over all of these little corners. Looks good. Oh, over here. So once my cut shape is finally all glued down, I've gone around and checked all of these little angles and corners and made sure that none of them can peel up. I can close my paper. And my image is nicely glued inside. And I can start cutting again in the same way that I did that first paper, but now with my glued piece inside. So we're kind of cutting blindly. And I think instead of just cutting with my scissors and going straight for it, I'm going to draw a shape with a pencil and then use that as a guide. So I have a rough pencil outline of, I just went a little more, I think I did a softer line, a lot more curves, did a lot of straight lines with my first cutout. So I'm going to do something a little bit different with these curvy lines. Or if you want to do straight lines or cut it in the exact same way that you did your first one, you can do that too. So I've cut out my second piece. I open it up and there's a lot going on because of the first piece that was glued inside. So I have two colors. Good. I'm going to take the second piece and then glue it into my third and final sheet of paper, just like I did with the first one. For this one, I'm not going to cut randomly. This is where I'll draw my final half butterfly shape to cut out both sides at the same time and then reveal a full butterfly. And I'm making sure I'm lining up that fold line on both pieces of paper. So I need to make sure that middle line lines up. I can fold my paper easily together. Applying glue to the second half. And just like the first one, I'm going to go around and check to see if any of these little appendages come up. Apply a little bit of extra glue. It's really important that we make sure our entire shape is glued down, because if we start cutting once our paper is closed, we may find that little pieces fall off that we wanted to keep. I'm all glued up. So now I'm going to fold this back up and draw my half butterfly, and I'm going to absolutely make sure that I'm starting from this folded edge right here and not the open side. I don't want my butterfly to end up in two pieces. So here's an example of a half butterfly. You also have the option of doing a stylized butterfly where it's just a big number 3, a little bit bigger at the top, smaller at the bottom. I think I'm going to do this butterfly here. So this can be left up to copy. Okay, once I like the shape of my butterfly, I can take my scissors and cut out on that line. I open up and now I have a butterfly. So I can take this whole thing and then glue it down to a solid sheet of paper. Flip it over, apply glue to the entire back. Put them right in the middle, facing straight up. I like to sort of tilt him a little bit, make it look like he's flying away. I have a large permanent marker here. Any dark marker will work. And I'm going to draw a body on my butterfly, just optional. So I like to start with a head right in the middle of where the wings meet. We'll draw a little, just a little circular marble head. Some little eyeballs. Some antenna. And insect, so we're going to do a little bit of a thorax. a little oval. And we'll do abdomen. Okay, and then I'm done.